Hey folks, I know it's been a little while since I've been on here. We had a whole lot of things going on, and uh, we had a whole lot of stuff we had to get done. And to be honest with you, doing videos, you can't move as fast when you're trying to do things. And I had to be pretty focused on what I was doing, so I just held off uh, doing any videoing because we were getting prepared to go on a trip. My mom, she had a bad fall. She had hip replacement surgery, a whole lot of stuff, and I wanted to be able to go out there and see her. And in order to do that, we had to work extra hard and do a whole lot of things at one time. I've been trimming some horses. We've been cutting and hauling wood. We did a couple of projects for some folks, but in order to do that and just be focused on that, the videoing takes me a good part of the day to set up shots and stuff, and I'm not the best videographer in the world. But when you cut it all down, I do a bunch that you don't see, and then there was the editing part of it. The editing part of it, about 6 hours, all said and all done in the editing process. So it took up a lot of my time, and so I said, you know what? At that time we had the young colt, the horse that I was riding. We got him finished up, got him sent home. I traded for a new mare, project horse. Found out she's pregnant, so she's not going to be working her. I started working her, and then she just kept getting bigger and bigger. So I'm pretty sure that she's bred. She was bred when she come here. And I'll take you out here in a little bit. The wind's blowing really bad. That's why I'm in the cab of the truck, and I'll kind of show you the sheep. We're kind of switching gears, and I'll talk about that. I'll do some voiceover and talk about that as I show you the sheep. But few updates. We upgraded the chickens a little bit. I'll show you that. One of the other reasons I haven't been doing videoing is I really didn't know which direction I wanted to take our channel. Every once in a while, you have to take and stop and do, a reevaluation of what you're doing, what you're putting your time and your efforts into. Now, I really appreciate all of my subscribers that just have stuck with us through the years. And I know that probably my content's not the best content in the world. I'm not the best videographer. I'm not the best, editor. But I try to get, the pertinent information, pertinent content out to you. To me, just doing the reevaluation, going, I'm really not sure if what I'm putting out is what people are wanting. Number one, you have to reevaluate, and I'm putting a lot of time and effort into the YouTube channel, and I'm not getting a lot of views. So I don't know. I don't know what direction our channel is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to put a lot of time and effort into it. I may be doing some smaller things. Just not sure yet exactly what we're going to do, because what we're doing now is not paying off as far as compared to the time that I'm putting into it. Guess what I'm trying to say. So anyway, I'll take you out here and I'll kind of show you what we're doing. I really thank all my subscribers, all my friends and family who watch this channel. I really appreciate you guys. You guys have stuck with us, and hopefully, we can kind of maybe turn this thing around to where we get a bigger audience in. I don't know. And, I'm going to try it again for a little bit and see if we can't get some, better footage for you guys. A lot of times I'm out here by myself, and it's hard for me to get the stuff that, that might be more exciting or might be more entertaining. And a lot of stuff we do, it's what we do every day. It's not an exciting life. So, it's hard to take, and I'm not one to just make up stuff. I'm not one to just take and manufacture things for a video. You know, we're busy, we're making a living, we're doing the things we always do, and then, you know, we're trying to build this homestead up, and some things are, 5 minutes here and 10 minutes there, and eventually you get it done. And, it's hard to catch those moments on video. So, but I'm going to try. I'm going to try to do better at that. I'm going to try to do, shoot smaller things when we're doing them, and then put it all together and make you guys, a more complete view of what we're doing, I guess. So I'm going to get out here. I've got to load the water tank up, and we got to get water today. I'm going to go trim a couple of donkeys for a lady. We've been doing quite a bit of hoof trimming for folks, doing some corrective stuff for some folks. So we're really just trying to fill in the gaps in between our big projects where we help people build their fences and things like that. Probably going to be doing a lot of wood cutting, which is, it's not real exciting. But we got a couple of projects that are ongoing that we're working on. Just taking and making a living. That's what we're doing out here. And, it's one of those things where it doesn't make great content because we're just doing the same old thing the same old way every day. But I'll get out here and show you the changes, and we'll get this day on the road.
We have decided to downsize our sheep. We are no longer going to take and raise sheep, not in the sense of raising babies and having a whole herd of sheep and rams. What we're going to do is we're going to basically feedlot sheep, and hopefully get back into feedlotting some pigs. And by feedlotting, I mean we're going to buy babies, and then we're going to raise them up just for the purpose of butcher, and put those in the freezer. We have one ram that we're going to kind of rent out to people that want to breed their ewes to that ram, and we'll probably end up eventually butchering him. We upgraded the chickens, the two that are running out. It's Delphine and Ophelia. They're basically pets at this point. They follow me around like puppy dogs. But we upgraded the chicken coop with a dog kennel that we traded for when we did a project. The person was wanting to get rid of it, and we traded some of our labor for this dog kennel, and it turned out really nice. A lot better. We can go in there and stand and clean out the pen, and makes it really nice to be able to go into the chicken coop. It has a really nice gate on it. The horses are doing really good. Cowboy, he has had some issues. I'm not sure what. He had an abscess actually on his sheath. It swelled up and busted, and we put him on medication, and he's really come out of it really well. But there for a while he was swelled up kind of bad, and we really didn't know what was wrong with him, and put him on some antibiotics. And here's the mare that we had traded for. She just kept getting bigger and bigger on us, so we kind of figured she's probably pregnant. She was running loose when we traded for her, so most likely she was bred coming off the reservation. Spurs is, as always, doing really good. We've been turning them out on grass, just saving a little bit on the hay bale, but they're all in good flesh and looking fat and sassy. It's that time again. We're deworming the sheep. We have one ewe left, which is Sissy. We're actually going to take and give her to some friends of ours that are wanting to get into sheep. Here's the ram that we're going to actually keep a ram for a while and let him breed. Just kind of studying him out to folks that want to take and breed to a Dorper Katahdin cross. And he is really a nice squared up ram. I think he's really going to grow into something really nice. He's fast as he can be. So we get all of these dewormed, and then we're going to castrate one of the rams that we don't want breeding any ewes, and I cut out the gory parts, but you'll get the gist of it. Here's one of our Katahdin Dorper crosses. They're really nice, good size, big boned. I really like this cross, but when we factored in the cost of keeping a herd of sheep and feeding them all winter, and just the time, you have to take into consideration your time. Getting up, having bottle babies, 5 degrees outside, snow on the ground, ice. It is not a very enjoyable process. I spent a lot of sleepless nights getting up 2 and 3 times a night, bottle feeding babies, and usually they're born in the coldest of weather. And I decided that was not for me. It's one of those reevaluation things. So we're going to take and we're going to, buy babies, raise them up, butcher them, and I really want to have the winter off from having to come out and take care of livestock in the winter. And the water situation is another thing that is really hard to do during the winter. The horses, it's not too bad, but with the sheep and some of the smaller animals, it can be a challenge just keeping them watered, particularly when the temperatures drop, down there, around zero. You have to, give them water 2 or 3 times a day, and something that I'm not real interested in doing in the winter again. So it's not all it's cracked up to be. Even if you have really nice facilities, a big barn, it's not a really enjoyable process to go out and bottle feed babies at 2 in the morning or 3 in the morning. And just the struggle of it it's just hard on the old arthritis, we get this little guy. This is Pee Wee. I don't know if you remember Pee Wee or not. He grew up into kind of a good size ram, and Miss Polly's going to come in here and help me hold him so we can get him tied up and get him castrated. He was too big to band, or I would have banded him. A lot of times some of these rams, by the time they're 60 days old, they're already breeding ewes back, and some people don't think that they can do that, but they can. I've got friends of ours that have sheep, and they say that it does happen. But we let this guy go a little bit too long, and we couldn't band him, so we had to end up castrating him. I'm just going to tie his legs together, and then we're going to just do the operation on him. And, talking about antibiotics, I was giving Cowboy antibiotics, but the government has made it really hard for us to get antibiotics for our animals. You now have to go to a vet and get a prescription, and then you can actually buy it online and have it shipped to you, but you have to have a veterinarian prescription. So out here it's a little bit more of a challenge. You can get it done, but a lot of veterinarians want to see the animal, want to know why you're doing it, and they ultimately have to say whether you need antibiotics or not. So a little bit of a challenge. The local vet here in Apache County, he's really good about it, but we were able to get antibiotics for Cowboy, which was really good. We try to castrate all of our animals according to the lunar signs on Farmer's Almanac. It's the way I've done it forever, and it is a really good way to do it. It always turns out really nice when we castrate any animal or wean any animal. We try to do it by the lunar signs. So went off without a hitch. Here we are out trimming some donkeys. Usually people will have their animals caught. It's really nice when people have their animals caught. They know you're coming. You set up an appointment. But a lot of times people wait until, you get there in order to catch their animals. Sometimes they're really muddy. That's not the case here, but did have to go in there. They could not catch their donkey. They tried treats, they tried everything, and animals are situationally challenged, particularly equines, donkeys, mules, horses. Situation changes, they change. They might have been able to walk out there when we weren't there and got the animal and had it caught. But after we got there, the animals were all disturbed, and it wasn't as easy as they thought it was going to be. So I had to go out there and rope them. These guys here hadn't been handled a ton, so they did give me some issues, and I had to do a few things to kind of help them out. Preparation and training is key. It's not a farrier's job. I've said this many times. It's not a farrier's job to teach your animal, your donkey, your horse, whatever, to stand on three legs. That's the owner's responsibility. We're there to trim the animal's feet, and so many times I have to do training on top of trimming the animal. You see here, really wanting to fight, kind of knocked me off balance. And having a really good place to trim the animals, another thing. There's a lot of stuff laying there. There's sagebrush, first one thing another, and you can get hurt. A little old animal, you don't think much about it, but they can hurt you. So what I'm doing here is putting a cross hobble on this donkey, and maybe some folks out there that don't understand this particular process, but what I'm doing is I'm basically tying the lateral left hind to the right front foot together so that it limits the donkey's ability to fight. And it's a conundrum. I'm there to help the animal. Their feet need to be trimmed, or they can go lame. In some cases, they've already went to the point where they are lame. Their feet are in real bad shape, and I have to do things that I don't want to do. If it was my decision, I would wish the donkey would sit there and just let me trim him, but no such luck. So I have to do the best of my ability to keep the animal safe and to help them out so that they don't go lame and they don't have any other issues. And this is where owner responsibility really comes in. You really got to take and spend time with the animals, pick up their feet, teach them. And, I showed these folks here some ways to kind of help out the animal to help them with that training process. And we do offer training which is separate from the hoof trimming. We'll come out and we'll actually train the animal to pick their feet up and work with them. And it's not that much more expensive, and in the long run it's better for your animal, it's better for me, and it's better for you if you ever have to take care of them. Some people are on a budget, and we understand that, but when I have to take 2 hours to trim a couple donkeys because they want to fight and stuff, it makes it harder on me. And there again, it's not my responsibility to teach them. I'm just there to trim their feet. After I cross hobbled this donkey, he did really well. He stood really nice and didn't have that many issues with him. See here, he's just standing there as I rasp the foot. And sometimes this is all it takes. It just takes them learning that they don't have the mobility to take and fight you, and they learn to kind of give up. And there's some horses, some donkeys, and some mules, they don't ever learn. They're going to fight you, and usually it comes from bad training to begin with. Here I'll repeat the process. I'll put the cross hobble on the other two legs, the right rear and the front left, and then I'll do the other 2 feet. This is not normally how I would move around a horse, but this is the way I do it when I have to cross hobble them. It's because I've already got the leg tied up. I'll just do the 2 opposite ones and go again. And he's a pretty calm donkey. He leads, you can handle him pretty good. It's just he's not been taught, to take and stand on 3 legs. And a lot of people pick up their horse's foot or the donkey's foot, and they don't ever take and clamp down on it between their knees. You have to put a lot of force, a lot of pressure on an animal when you're trimming it, rasping it. And people will say, yeah, I can pick up all 4 of their feet. But when you go to, putting that leg up there on a stand or on your knee, and you're putting that pressure on there, the animal really doesn't understand that pressure. Rope training, teaching them to give the pressure, just going through the motions, picking that foot up, like right here, putting it between my legs. I'm clamping down on that with my knees, and then I'm going to take and I'm going to cut out the dead sole and the dead frog, and that's a lot of pressure, particularly where we're at. The hooves are just dry. They're really hard, and it's a little bit of a process. And particularly when you go a long time in between trims, it's a longer process because the animal is really long, the hoof's really long, and then they have to take and stand there a lot longer because I'm having to do more work. It's not as a good a process on them. See, they're struggling a little bit. Different side, different brain. Kind of has to go through the process again on this side. As you can see, once they struggle a little bit and they learn, they can't take a move around, and they pretty much calm down and stand still. Not always the case, but 9 times out of 10. And this particular donkey would nip at you. He tried to nip at me several times. I've had him bite my chaps and different things. Here I am nipping, and like I say, wind's blowing really bad. That's why I'm doing voiceover. It's just a real windy day this day, and if you can get your horse or your donkey on a regular schedule, it helps so much, because we're not having to do as much work. And there's a lot to trimming an animal. It's not just trimming their foot down to size. It's about trying to correct angles and trying to work with, getting the animal to break over heel toe, and to correct any issues that they might be having that's causing the hoof to grow in properly. So when they're really long and they're really distorted, it makes for a longer process, and then it's harder on them and harder on the farrier. So being on some type of schedule, whether that be 6 weeks, 8 weeks, 10 weeks, it's just better to have a schedule. Don't wait until their feet look like sled runners, because it's going to be a long, drawn out process for sure.
Alrighty, folks, another end to a day. We got water brought back here. We got those donkeys trimmed up, and it was a good day overall. Starting to get nippy at night. I think last night it got down to about 35 degrees or something like that. So the days are getting cooler. They're getting shorter too. Gonna be less time to get things done, but we're still getting them done. Oh, I'm gonna leave you right there. Don't know when I'll be able to get the next video out. Not sure what I'm gonna take and which direction I'm gonna go with this channel. Remember, if you don't know which way to go in this old world, commit your ways unto the Lord. Trust also in Him, and He'll bring it to pass. We'll see you later.